morning, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. Eva Delicious here with your ShowGirl stretch to get us through the week. All right, so let's get to it. I got to rehearse for something we're videoing this Saturday. More to come on that soon. It might be a whole lot of love coming online to you. So let's get into it. How about some shoulder circles? So just going back. This is great. I can do this with y'all, then I can go into rehearsal. What perfect timing. And then let's go forward. Breathing. One shoulder back and then the other. Get a little slinky today because my performance is kind of slinky. Let's go ahead and bend your knees, start wiggling more of your body. Let's go forward there. Awesome. And now let's make sure our chin is pulled back in and level. And then just drop ear to shoulder. Feel that opening there. You can put a little weight on your head if you like, not pulling down, just resting. And if you want more stretch, go ahead and flex your palm. Taking it gentle, not too crazy right now. We're really not terribly warmed up. And release that. Come on over to the other side. A little space and room there. Let's release that. Head to center and then just look over your shoulder. Warm up that neck a little bit. Nice. Drop chin to chest and just roll ear to shoulder, so we're kind of getting a half circle there. Nice. All right, let's go to chest. So making sure your chest is in alignment with your pelvis, so we don't want to be stuck out or we don't want to be tilted back. Like that. I'm going to pull probably from the lower ribs. That's where I find most people need to pull back to line up with their pelvis. Bend your knees, keep them nice and soft, and just slide your chest from side to side. We'll just go like top to bottom through the body areas today. That sounds good. Enjoying the space that you find. Coming to center, and now chest comes forward and slides back. So it's not the elbows moving back and forth to make the space, it's the chest. Nice. All right, now we are going to make a diamond on the floor below us. So forward, side, back, side. Forward, side, back, side. Seeing if your ribs maybe are starting to move around a little bit more. Let's give a circle. Take it slow so you can go through all the points as much as possible. Enjoying that, warming up. Nice. And let's make a diamond the other way. And then smooth that out. Still enjoying lots of space there. Knowing it's okay if one side is easier than the other. Nice. Let's just flop from side to side. I like how this kind of relaxes everything. Sometimes when you're trying to move around, you start to get tension in your body, so it's good to just shake that back out. All right, let's do now a vertical movement. So maybe on the camera, first we're going to lift our chest up. So use your pecs and your upper abs to lift up Notice I'm not lifting back. I'm literally going straight up here. And then we're gonna go side, drop it down, side, lift, side, drop. And then circle it. Good to get all these different ranges of motion, right? And a little bit easier of a way to work your pecs than maybe planks or push-ups. All right, up, side, drop, side, up. Circle it out. Just for fun, let's make an infinity with our chest. So on the camera, just a little bit of a different movement. So first we're gonna go up in the center, slide it out, and back up. So we're going out, dropping it down, dropping it down. I know it's weird. It's okay though. Just to play with moving your bodies in different ways. All right, shake that out, shake that out. So cuckoo. Let's go kind of down to our hips, but we're gonna use our obliques to do some stuff here. So these side muscles getting engaged, making sure your tailbone is pointing down to the ground, so we don't wanna be sticking out like this. We don't wanna be tucked in, not too many people do that. But getting it is pointing down to the ground as much as possible. I know my booty sticks out, so sometimes it's really hard to tell, but I really am thinking about my tailbone pointing down there. That would be me not thinking about it. So, yeah, engaging right here. And then we're just going to bend our knees so we have plenty of room for movement, and use your oblique to pull your hip up. So I like to think about my hip kissing the bottom of my ribs when I do this. Just check in, make sure that your tailbone is not trying to sneak out to the back. Maybe y'all don't have that problem. Mine sure likes to. Nice, warming that area up. Hello, abs. How are you today? Ooh. Okay. Now we're gonna take our pelvis forward and back. A little bit of rocking there. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, just like we do with our chest, let's take our hips around or our pelvis around, I guess, in a few directions. So pull forward, let's push it out to a side, so your knee bends, and then you're gonna pull back using your abs still, push out to the other side. So nice bend in the knees, push, side. So we're going on the floor here with our diamond as our direction of movement. And circle it out. So yeah, do make sure your abs are engaged when you go back. You don't want to just dump into your low back, right? You need to use those deep muscles to keep it protected. And get your ab workout too. How nice. All right, coming to the center, we're gonna go the other way. So first, with our diamond, still having that hip thing, so it's good to move around, and it's a little challenging at the same time. All right, keep it going. Nice. And notice I move my knees quite a lot, and my heels come up. Keep going. Nice. And now we're gonna go for that vertical movement. So we're gonna start low, tilt your pelvis up, oblique, come to the center, other oblique. So here, 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 yeah. And then we're gonna rotate that around. So it's more of a circle on the camera. The body really prefers going one direction when I do that. Keep your chest lifted, don't sink, don't worry about if it's not very big. Remember, we're just playing with moving around in different directions. All right, let's try the other way. So low in the pelvis, comes forward, hip comes up, we come to center, and then hip. Here, here, center, here. Couple more. And then circle it out. This is the direction my body prefers to go. And given its own devices, we'll just go ahead and do that. But practice both ways, even when it's hard. Nice bend in the knees. Here I'm endeavoring to keep my feet on the ground as much as possible. Nice. All right, let's stretch that out a little bit. So one leg back into your sparkly curtains. Not too big of a stance, really. Make sure that both of your feet can stay on the ground. Sparkly curtain interference. All right, and if you're having a challenge being balanced, think more railroad tracks than tightrope. Pulling your pelvis forward. We want to make sure it stays under us, not sticking out in the back. Raise your arms if you'd like a little bit more stretch, and then grab the wrist of the leg that goes to the back and tilt over toward that bent knee. Ooh. Push into the ground. That will help with balance as well. I think I might need a little bit more distance here. Pushing down, breathing, making sure your shoulder stays down. Don't want to bring it up here, right? Enjoying that nice opening all along the side. So good. Maybe you bend a little deeper. Nice. Come on up. Release that. Let's go to the other side. These curtains can give me a little bit of room here. Not the worst problem to have, I guess. All right. So pelvis is coming under. Lift up if you like a little bit more stress. Make sure that your hips, knees, toes are all pointing in the same direction. And grab that opposite wrist, pushing down into the ground. Ooh, yes. Push your feet down. Breathe in, find the space, find your opening. Expand into that. Good stuff, right? Nice. Come on up. Let's release that. And then let's do this before it gets out of hand. We're going to do some rolls, some spinal rolls up and down. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can kind of see what's happening here. Feet about hip width apart. And I want to keep my knees pointing straight. I don't want them to go in or just play out while I'm bending down. So I'm going to come chest forward, drop the head, drop the arms, tuck the pelvis first, and roll up. And then coming back down, make sure your legs are staying in alignment. Tuck that pelvis. So you might have to really engage your inner thighs as you're rolling up or down to make sure they don't get funky. I know I do. One more, rolling down. And now hang over here, grasp opposite elbows. Even if you can stretch your knees out fully, don't. Let that upper back get some love. You can wobble around if you like. Nice, release that. And now we're gonna stretch out. So hands to your thighs, hands to your shins, or to the ground. Wherever it is that you can keep your back long and straight, right? I know if you you've been with me before, you've heard this a million times. We're going to stretch into our length. So we want our back to stay long and straight because I don't think any of you are going to be on stage all bent over for large sections of time. Or you probably don't want to be that way in life, right? Nice. Pedaling your feet. And now let's start to walk ourselves out to a downward dog. So stretch as you need to. Pushing into your hands, rotate your shoulders so your elbow pits start coming forward and your shoulders stay down. Oh, that feels so good. Checking to make sure my hands are even. One side of my body like continually shortens itself. Still working out why. So I have to be real conscientious about making sure that it stretches too. Pedaling that out, and then push yourself long. Relax your neck. Oh, so good. All right, come down to your knees. Let's do some cat-cows here. So inhale, exhale, pull up from the middle of your back. Inhale, head and tailbone come up. Exhale, pull from the middle of your back. Nice. And then let's do those circles that we did with our chest here. So the ones where we were going horizontal on the ground, moving it around here. And let's go the other way. Lots of movement here. Nice. And now, for a moment, push back into child's pose. So booty's coming way back. You can leave your hands pressing into the mat, engaged, and get an upper back stretch, or you can relax. Whichever you like. Nice. And then walk over to one side. Go to my right first. And then turn your head to the side and just look through that little armhole. Maybe stretch the arm you're looking under a little bit longer and push your hips back a little bit more. Lovely. And let's walk to the other side. Same thing, look under that arm. And then stretch that arm a little bit longer. Sit your hips back a little bit more. Breathing here. And now come back to center. And we are going to roll up. Pelvis tucks under first. So nice, right? So you can stay on your knees like this for a moment, or you can come to a seated position, whatever's more comfortable. I'm going to move just a little bit more forward. I'm going to do a little bit of toe breaker because I need to stretch the bottom of my feet. So I'm going to pick my knees up, tuck my toes under, and then sit them back down, and then sit back here. So we're going to do some stretches for our shoulders and our upper back, but I'm going to just do this extra while I can while I'm here. Stretch the bottom of my feet since I'm going to be dancing in heels. So first, let's just grab opposite elbows. Well, it should be pretty easy. Make sure your chest stays nice and open, but you're not poking out your butt, right? Resting here. Breathing. And then tilt your head back. Ooh. Nice. And let that go. And then if you're ready for a little bit more stretch, you can release there. Shake it out. And do reverse prayer in the back with your hands. So your hands are kind of pushing into your shoulder blades, or maybe you grab a little bit further in on your elbows. Oh my gosh, the bottoms of my feet are so intense right now. Lovely. Keeping your chest open, so we don't want to collapse at all. Chest open here. And then I'm going to look down to one side, look up, down to the other side. Release that before my toes completely die. Nice. Look up, release, shake that out. I'm gonna come to seated. Let's do some wrist circles here. That's quite a lot. Anybody else, spending all the time on the computers and things like that? We gotta be careful about our wrists. Make sure we stretch those out a little bit. So sitting comfortably, cross-legged, however that is for you. I'm gonna put my right leg in front first. We all know why I say it. I really don't care what y'all do. I just need to remind myself so I don't mess it up. So bringing your hands to prayer in front of your chest, but a little bit of space here. We're gonna rotate our wrists down and rotate them back as much as you can, pressing your palms into each other. Yeah. This came from my years of doing massage therapy. Learning ways to stretch out my wrists, and they're super handy for warming up for fan dancing or working with a giant boa, which is what I'm going to be doing in my rehearsal. Also super great if you've been sitting in front of the computer forever. All right, shaking that out. Nice. Let's come forward here, get a little deeper in our hips. So feet are flexing, booty cheeks on the ground equally as possible. Extending, keeping straight as we come down, breathing into all that goodness in your hips. Wiggle if you need to. Of course, if you're already super flexy and you want to stack your feet on top of each other, you are welcome to do that. Ooh, hello, my hips. How's your hips? Say hello, love them. And now let's walk over toward the top knee a little bit. Change our stretch up just taints. Do all the wiggling you need to let your body know it's okay to release. Mine needs oh so much right now. Walk over to the other side. Maybe you're able to extend a little bit more and lower a little bit more. Walk around to the front, sit it up. Sit back, knees to the ceiling, and wobble it back and forth. Holy smokes. I have that so much sensation thing where it makes you a little bit nauseous happening. Good times. If you have that, keep breathing through it. It will pass. I know that. It's just not the most pleasant thing. Okay, left leg in front. Give me, I remembered. And ease yourself forward. Feet are staying flexed. So we're protecting our knees. Butt cheeks equally on the ground. So check to see if one side is maybe lifted in them more than the other. Rotating toward that front knee. Bringing your chest down a little bit more if you can. Keeping the extension. Holy smokes. Inhaling across to the other side. Keep breathing. Keep breathing, lovelies. This doesn't even seem that extreme. All right. Rotating back to center. Sitting up. Lean back. Let's windshield wiper those legs. Holy smokes, that is so much for me today. Which means I'll have to do more later. Right? When it's a lot, it means you kind of need to go back into it. Take a break, calm your body, go back into it. Kind of like life, right? When things are tough, it means it's an area you need to persist in, even when it's hard. So you gotta love yourself up, take breaks, and then go back. Do your thing. So one leg in front of the other, kind of zigzagging it. My back leg, which is my left leg, is pointing straight back. Other leg is right up in front. Let's take a little break from the forward folding. Big stretch up and over. Ribs staying aligned with the pelvis. Now rotate your chest up. Let's do some arm circles. Beautiful. Oh, enjoying that opening. Come on up. Guess what? We're going forward. You might have to go off to a side. You might not be able to come fully forward here. Might be more like a little bit of a side stretch to the front. Seeing if maybe you can ease that front knee down just a little bit more. But keep your butt cheek is on the ground as much as possible, even in the back. It's kind of a nice alternative to pigeon pose if that's just like too much for your body. Nice. Come on up from that. Lean off to a side. Rotate your legs. Situate as you need to. All right, so back leg pointing straight back. Front leg bent as much as you can across the front of you. Inhaling, stretching up and over. Shoulder stays down, hip stays down on the ground. Big opening side stretch. Hopefully that front knee is dropping down a little bit more. Hopefully rotate your chest open and rotate your arm. Trying for as big a range of motion as you can get. All right, coming up and then forward. Still breathing here. Wiggle as you need. Beautiful. That's wonderful. I'm coming back to that stretch later because my body is telling me, yes, it really likes that one and it can do it for quite a bit longer. All right, so coming forward, straddle into a comfortable space and rotate as you need so that your legs are on the bottom of the ground. The bottom of your legs is all the way on the ground as much as you can make it. If you need to bend, that's okay. But endeavoring to push that down, knees and toes pointing up to the ceiling, and your butt flat on the ground, tailbone coming in, and let's just give a little bit more warmth and movement right here. So just go side to side for now. Kind of let our muscles know we're settling in here. It's all good. Nice, all right. And now coming forward. So chest, center of the chest, coming down to the ground is what we're going for. And we're gonna try and keep the bottoms of our legs as flat on the ground as possible. Realize if I try to point my toes, I'm gonna point right into Mary Magdalene. How was Mary Magdalene for y'all in the last week? Did she support you? I had some situations that came up where I worked on the unconditional love. Unsure how they are resolved entirely, but I feel good about not spreading frustration and anger and getting into a more loving space. Even if it doesn't work out with other people, it's still better to have that feeling within yourself, right? Wherever you can. Whew. Nice. And now pointing, pushing your legs down into the ground. Maybe you can come down a little bit further. Beautiful. Flex it. Push out into those heels. See if maybe you've got a little bit more forward space. Spine is staying long and straight. And point one more time. Push your legs down into the ground. See if you've got more room to come forward with your chest. And then flex it. Bring it on up. Walk it back. We need to do a little bit of subtle wiggling there. Nice. We're going to rotate over to a side. I'm going left first. And then walk down over that leg. Again, we're aiming for the chest to come down. Standing nice and long. Ooh, and point it, push your legs down. It's feeling pretty intense there. Clearly, I've not stretched enough in the last week. Push those heels out. Nice, and bring it back up to center. Woo-wee. Rotating. How are you doing? Have you been stretching more than once? I do put these in the Reconnect with Body Magic Facebook group and on my YouTube channel. Which is ShowGirl Temple. If you search for ShowGirl Temple, you'll find it. It's the channel name itself is all kinds of ridiculous numbers because we don't have enough people to have our own name yet. So spread it around. If you're into these and you want to share them with your friends, if we have more subscribers, we can have an easier to remember name. Point your toes, feet push into or legs push into the ground. Breathing here. Flex, push it into the ground, extend yourself a little bit longer, maybe you come down a little bit lower. Nice. Coming on up. Give your legs some wiggle. All right, so you can come however you want into a comfortable position. Going to prepare to read a card. I did want to let y'all know, of course, if you want lots more stretch work, Charlie Sharp has her classes going on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and she is excellent at modifying for all different bodies. So catch her and Bendy for all bodies Wednesday nights or Saturdays, and we are doing recordings of those classes. So if the specific time doesn't work for you, we'll send you a recording following class, and then you can do it on your time. And what else? Oh, yeah. Our fall solo series is live online and ready for you to sign up if you want to learn burlesque and prepare to perform a solo. Because why not, right? We've all got lots of extra time to work on things right now. Come join us. It's a fairly small class size, so everybody gets lots of focus on their act. We're adding a lot more material in there in terms of dance instruction and some of the Becoming Babelicious materials about positive mindset. So I think that will help a little bit more with confidence on stage and off. Always a good thing. And we're going to include, of course, instruction on taking quality video, which is great if you need to be submitting video to shows, and you kind of always do, even when we can have live in-person shows. But who knows, maybe you could be able to submit something to an online show that's happening and then have lots of time to practice for when we can be together in person easily. So come join us for that, or DM me if you have questions. Just mixing up our cards. I was flipping through them recently and I realized there are a number of cards in here that have not come up in our sessions. So hoping at some point we're visited by all of these beauties. But if you're really interested, it's the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. And they're all really beautiful art and wonderful messages that we need to hear. So, all right, send it through, lovelies. What do you need in the coming week? What sort of support would nourish you or inspire you? Lay these out for us. Okay, so it's a very serpentine pattern we've got going on today. Okay, all good. Here we go. It's a pretty strong pull. More here. Ooh, fun. This is one we haven't had before. So exciting. We have Rhiannon, the sorceress, and in this, she's riding a unicorn. I love this. There. Oh. All right. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. Rhiannon tells you, a large part of my power stems from my connection to animals and nature. If you've been indoors too long, you can recapture your personal power by simply stepping outside. This simple motion will do you a world of good in reawakening your sleeping, magical, spiritual nature. Allow the light of the sun, the moon, and the stars to stir ancient memories that may be dormant. Recall the time of your magical abilities and then put them to use immediately for the good of the entire planet. Resume the mission that was once aborted through the mind seed of past-time leaders. Take up your spiritual arms and move with swift speed into the night, awakening one and all to the magic that is life itself. This is a mission that must be accomplished, and you're the one who can help us with it. Ugh. Meanings of this card: have absolute faith that your dream is manifested. Make a clear decision. Put your energy into manifesting your dreams. Know that you deserve to receive good. When you win, others win too. Keep your thoughts focused on your desire and away from fear. This lunar Welsh goddess's name means Great Queen, as she serves important functions, including being the muse of inspiration for poets, artists, and royalty. She lovingly carries souls from Earth to the afterlife plane upon her trusty white horse, helping them adjust to the transition of life after death. A shapeshifter, Rhiannon can appear to you as an animal, bird, or song. Call upon her for help with manifestations, spirit communication, transition, or artistic inspiration. Oh, wonderful! I hope that brings you lots of nourishment and support. Go for your dreams. get out in nature. I have plans actually tomorrow to go be in nature. I'm taking the day away from screens and going to be in nature with one of my friends for her, two friends. We're celebrating her birthday. So go do the same. Get out, even if it's just like around your neighborhood. There's a practice called earthing. Lots of people like for grounding, essentially, and getting in nature, which is basically walking on the earth with your bare feet, like a grassy space or a dirt space, not cement or asphalt or anything like that. The beach with the sand, anything like that, but with your bare feet, so that you can really root into that energy. And honestly, it just feels good. So I hope you get out into some nature. I hope we see you in some more flexibility classes, right? Because flexible body helps with a flexible mind, and we sure all need that right now to keep going. And if you're interested in developing your burlesque solo, send me a message or check out showgirltemple.com. All the information is there. And finally, Saturday, yes, we are going to be taping some additional videos for an online version of Whole Lotta Love, our tribute to Zeppelin. That will be a fundraiser for the Clinton Street Theater in Portland, where we had our show earlier this year. And of course, we'll have all kinds of information about that coming out for you really soon. All right, I hope to see you sooner than later. And I can't wait to hear what magical things you bring into the world. Blessings.